Okay, here we are for Titan, starting the play. The number 6 tower, I'll go first, then I'll go counterclockwise as I always do. It does just normally go clockwise, but it doesn't really matter because seeding isn't really affected by your die roll. It's not, you don't switch seats based on your die rolls. So you could actually be reaching across the table. And the game kind of gets jumbled together at some point or another. Sometimes people seat themselves near their towers just for ease, but you usually don't stay there. All right. So I used to put a lot of thought into what the different splitting strategies should be. I didn't have one that was in favor for any particular tower, but what I'd do is I'd place out my pieces. Okay, here's what I'd roll. If I roll a 1, this is what I would get. I would get a Brush Plains March. Okay, that works pretty much any way I cut things. I could have 2 of any of these and I'd produce something. I could have 3, I could split anything and, you know, be able to do it how I like. The next would be Woods, Jungle, Desert. Now that's not so hot. There, I'd get a Centaur and, well, I could take a Cyclops because if I had 2 gargoyles, I could get a Cyclops if I put them together. 2 is one of the iffy rolls and 5 is an iffy roll. Some of the towers have a bad 2, some have a really bad 5. Some are okay on either, actually. Here, the 2's not terrible, so you might not re-roll it because there might be worse. On a 3, Marsh, Jungle, Brush. Okay, there, I kind of want to have 2 ogres together so I could get a troll, maybe, or get another ogre, so if I go in the hills, I've got a bonus. In which case, I'd probably also want my 2 gargoyles together. 2 gargoyles together is a kind of violent strategy, especially if you stack them with your Titan. Now, I didn't do that, and in fact, I don't think any of the players went for kind of the violent strategy. It's possible to go with the others, it's just that's the quickest way to get good combat capabilities, to go with the jungle chunk. But getting it in both stacks is kind of potent too, because this is the most prevalent stuff on the board. So splitting your gargoyles is kind of cool too. And having your other things paired, your ogres and centaurs, is kind of nice because the richer stacks, like here, getting to warbears and minotaurs and then finally unicorns. But unicorns are just combat capable. They're kind of a dead end. The warbears get you to giants here. Of course, you can get there through trolls. And the minotaurs, which you can also get to through lions, but it's more expensive, get you to dragons. And the dragons and giants can get you to colossi, and that's in the center ring. Those are sort of the big critters that you can pick up. Now, the big critter that the green picks up is these serpents. Huge number of dice, but low skill factor. The giant, the colossus, the dragon, these are all potent critters. Also is the hydra with a 10-3 and a strike factor. And then there's sort of these medium, more combat creatures. It's harder to get these. The desert, swamp, mountain, tundra, and the unicorns, the hill woods lines. It's harder to get them. It's much easier to go down the plains marsh line and end up with tons and tons of rangers. And in fact, tons and tons of rangers is how you're going to win the game if you're really interested in winning rather than trying to create cool stacks, which all too often is what I'm into. Anyway, rangers are sort of the most producible, good combat units. They're not terrific, but they're pretty decent. And they produce like mad. The other side is, of course, the jungle jump. All right, so anyway, we're looking at 3 here. That would indicate a split that maybe we wouldn't want to, maybe we would want to have a reason to have 2 ogres together and 2 gargoyles together and split the centaurs. I didn't do that for some reason. A 4 would get us to here, marsh, hills, and plains, which kind of says I don't want to have a stack with 2 gargoyles in it, which is another good option, you know. And that's out at 4. Now 5 is often very bad, and indeed here it is. Swamp, brush. The problem with swamp is from the beginning of the game I can't create anything in the swamp. I don't have trolls yet. That would be a roll that you'd want to mulligan, and you'd want to re-roll. And then finally, the case for the 6, which is kind of an interesting case, puts us out here, Plains, Woods, Marsh. Hey, that's all fine and dandy, but I've got other options. If I roll a 6, I can tower teleport by showing one of my lords. Of course, then you know where the other one is. And go within 6 to an empty area and muster anywhere. So that makes my mustering choices a little easier. Might mean I want to have something specific with my angels, like not a pair of gargoyles, because they have to move to one of these locations, or to the Titan. One of the stacks has to go to one of those locations, if it moves. Now, the other option is tower teleportation. Use the Titan tower teleportation, or the Lord tower teleportation, to go to another tower. But that's not available for the first player in this game. And that's one of the disadvantages to going very first in a 6-player game. There are no empty towers. Anyway, all that analysis used to feel like I could immediately decide how I was going to split my critters. I can no longer figure that out from the analysis. I think I had some rules that made some sense. So I'm going to roll a die and start moving, and I get that big 6. And we'll throw some dice into place where I can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just had this down. Once you come out, your movement's predetermined already. So those are my choices: Marsh, Plains, and Woods. Now my Titan is here with a gargoyle and a couple of centaurs. This is kind of risky in that I'm putting my Titan near someone else, but I get to muster. So if I took a lion with this, I would have a pretty strong stack. The problem is my opponent might attack with his Titan, and he might be bringing in an angel in that case. If I go here, I could get another centaur. It's a safer position, and I'm going down this way. I'm going to do that, and I show 1 centaur, and I get another centaur. Here I would have had to show 2 centaurs to get a lion, or 1 centaur to get a centaur. And now the final move, well, I have my ogres here. I'm getting kind of close. The choice between an ogre and a troll is a difficult one. Because if I roll a 1, I can go and get another, and get a minotaur if I have 3 ogres. But let's see what else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could end up in the marsh again. There's no real reason I'd want a troll beforehand there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show an ogre, and I'm going to get an ogre. And you can see these are kind of limited. I leave these face up for the duration of a player's turn, just to indicate, hey, this is what I mustered. And then after a player's turn is over, they go back under so that they're hidden. Now we're on the second player here, which I'll do this gold guy. We'll see what he gets. He gets a 4. 4 is not a bad roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plains. Marsh. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Woods. Let's look at my stacks. And normally I won't be looking this much. I got ogres here. He wants to go to the marsh, there's no question. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All he can see, he doesn't see a real good reason to get another ogre. So he's going to go here, and crappy crapolas. I got to find my trolls. I don't sort everything out of the bag. I don't pour everything out of the bags earlier. That's it. And I'll do that later because it's important to have a place to keep the dead. Now this guy also gets to move. He can't go here too, but he could go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the woods or the plains. And we have a couple of centaurs in this stack. There are reasons to do either. So if I go to the woods, all I get is another centaur. And then if I roll a 6, is it? No. A 5 will get me to the woods again, and I'll have 3 centaurs and be able to get the next thing up the line, the war bear. That's kind of nice, but then I get flushed down the toilet. If I go here, I'm kind of blocking Black's way here. He might stomp me. There is a good advantage to getting that first strike in with your Titan sometimes. Again, though, I can pick up the extra piece with the lion. But then my danger is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same location here on that same 5 roll. I won't be able to get the war bear at that point. I think this is the safer play. And we're in the woods, so it's a centaur gets me a centaur. And then these go under. Now we go to the black player. And he rolls a magic 6. This is kind of cool at this point in the game, because a warlock can make a big difference among these lighter units. Very, very tempting. Now if we look up tower teleportation, I think you're only allowed to use one thing. Doesn't look like it. Looks like I could reveal with both. Okay, so 1, 2, and they're effectively both revealed in that case anyway, even if one is. Because your Titan and your Angel can't be in the same stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Woods. And plains. The board flows in a certain direction, going this way. Moving here would be sending me back this way. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Titan stack. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to get me a warlock. I have to show my Titan both to teleport and to get the warlock. But again, the way it looks, I can also show my Angel and teleport wherever the hell I like with this within 6. This is within 6. I'm going to show a centaur and grab a centaur. And now what's kind of pain in the ass is that everybody at the table now knows the feather is the Titan. But as the game continues, people lose track sometimes. Certainly as splits happen, you can no longer even be sure. The problem though is playing solitaire, I take little breaks, walk away, and I ain't gonna remember. So the cost of revealing the Titan is less in a solo game for me than it would be in a game for other people. Let me make sure I'm right about that tower teleportation. I seem to think a legion containing one or more lords that begins its move may begin when the movement from the tower and may be teleported into. Yeah. Only one teleportation is allowed per turn. I knew that was a rule and I couldn't find it. It's up here. Only one legion can be teleported per movement phase, and only one angel can be summoned. Okay, so I have that 6 roll coming out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 woods. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marsh. It's a pity because I would really like to be able to get this. Now up here, a lion would give me a 50-50 shot of giving another line and going forward there. So actually that's what I'm going to go for instead. I'll pick up a kitty cat here. And I'll get these counters out of the Ziploc bag as they're used, but I'm trying to keep this all on one video. When I cut videos with the high definition version, it really kills my computer to process that. And I'd rather do as little of that as possible. It takes like an hour and a half to do, you know, to process the video. About as long as the video is, actually. Whatever the length of the video is, the effect. All right, over here at Brown. And I've made my split decisions. So I'm not really thinking about those anymore. Here I could attack. That's one factor. A marsh and plains. I got my Titan here, which could go into the plains. Now I'm down a critter there, but I could get my Angel. This guy definitely wants to go in the marsh. He's got a swamp nearby. So if I roll a 1, I'll want a troll. And the nice thing about doing this is it shows that the unit's moved already. I actually do them as I'm moving. Normally, you're supposed to do your musters after all movement. Well, I put them up like this just to indicate what I'm planning. Now, I'm in kind of an ugly position here. If I position myself here, I could get attacked. I could stay in the tower and be all safe and happy. But we're going to do an attack instead. Alright. And that probably means we're going to have to split this video up. Alright. We're attacking in the plains. If it matters, the little number's pointing down that way. I mean, it doesn't because it's the plains. But that means this corresponds with that number. I attacked from this side, so the attacker's coming in from here. Actually, I think the defender's token goes here and the attacker goes here. It doesn't make much difference. I don't get to muster. The defender doesn't have his Titan here, but he's going to defend anyway. He can't flee because he's got a lord with him. And the attacker looks rather smaller. So if the defender can last 4 rounds, he's going to get with either the lion or at least a centaur, he gets a reinforcement. I'm going to put forward my forces like this, creating a little bit of a shell. Now it's the attacker's turn. He wants to kill something so he can get his Angel. It's hard to reach anything. That's not great numbers. At least I'm pinning something down here. Alright. There's no range strike on anyone. So we grab a bunch of dice. And the attacker's going to swing 3 dice against the defender here. It's a 4 versus 4, which means it's going to be even. So he needs 4s to hit. There's no terrain, nothing to modify it. I get 1 hit on the attack on the defender. And unfortunately, again, I've got the camera in hand, so this makes this job very difficult. I've done a hit against him. He gets to swing back. He gets all his dice. You always get all your dice even though you've taken damage. And he gets 3 hits. That's enough to kill this centaur. I'm going to take that over to my side of the battlefield to indicate, hey, those are my victory points. And now the defender gets to go again. How big a deal is it to kill things? Well, I've got this sort of mixed desire here. I want to last to here so I can get another critter, but I also really want to wipe him out as fast as I can. I'm not going next to the Titan, although I could pin him down. I don't want to give those 6 extra dice there. Put this here, this here. I'm going to keep my cat back here where he's kind of defended. He's my reproductive capability, my best reproductive capability. I don't want him to get killed particularly. So, now the defending player gets to strike first, and I'll pick my attacks where I have to first. So I got 3 dice there, and I'm a 4 attacking a 3, so I only need 3s to hit. And I get 2 hits against that gargoyle. This guy might as well attack. I missed. Alright, that makes life a little harder. But I'm going to skip this gargoyle because he might be able to kill this one. I'm rolling the angel against the centaur for 6 dice. Now, they're the same skill factor, so I need a 4. And I get 4 hits. That's going to kill the centaur. There couldn't be any overspill because I'm not next to anything else I can attack. So now I've got 4 dice against this gargoyle, and again I need 4s. And I get 2 hits, that's sufficient to kill that. Alright, now the attacker gets to swing back, and it looks like he's losing this battle in his Titan in the game and all that. What do you want to do about it? Well, you want to reduce the enemy's ability to hurt you further. So I've got 4 dice here. I'm going against a 4 skill critter. I haven't killed anything yet. I'm a 3 skilled critter against a 4 means I need 5s to hit. I get 1 hit. And then the defender gets this. Over here, I've only got 1 other critter that can attack. It's a centaur. I'm not going to kill anything. So I'm going to roll 3 dice, I guess, against the gargoyle. I need 3s. I get no hits. That's another kill here. Now, that was the defender's second move. Now it's the attacker's second move. I can't call an angel. I would like to, but I haven't killed anything. These are my guys who are dying here. I'm going to flee kind of as far as I can. You know, I have a 50-50 chance of killing this guy, but I'd put myself in more danger. So I'll just go here. The thing that's bothering me is this guy's getting 3 dice on me, even though he's really weak. But we'll roll my attack. And I only do 2 hits. That's enough. Though he gets a counter swing. He gets all of 1 hit. I've killed this. If I get another move, I'll get an angel. And I better take one. And now we're on the final, on the 3rd round. I'm not going to be able to get the lion into play anyway. Let's put him there. Now, if I was in my 40 dice rolling status, what I would be doing is rolling 9 dice here. But in one hand with the camera in the other, I'm going to roll these one at a time. So the angel's going to attack the Titan. And he gets 4 hits. That puts the Titan up to 5 damage. Rather than look for a marker, I'm going to see if the Centaur can kill him. Yeah, the Centaur is going to kill the Titan. And so I don't have to worry about additional damage. Now, the Titan has 6 dice. Chances are I can't kill anything too exciting. If I kill the Centaur, the Lion's still around, so I could reproduce and bring another Centaur in. But if I kill the Gargoyle, that's kind of irreplaceable, so I'll go for that. 6 dice, I need 3s. I get 3 of them. That critter has a 4 strength, so that's not enough. Alright, so we have, and I'm going to be loading this up after this, even though 2 players haven't gone yet in this round. I want to cover this all at once and nothing else. Alright, so point-wise, here's where things get tricky because again, this damn camera. Here, look at paper real close. Alright, and again, and yes, this is just so I don't have to try to link the video together because it takes forever to do that. Yet if I can shoot it all at once, I'm fine. So let me put the different Titans down. We have blue, gold, and I mean honestly, I'm not doing these videos to make high production quality, right? I'm doing them to share games. If you want high production quality, there are other people who do that. Well, we don't have to worry about Brown. He got knocked out of the game. Alright. And who just beat him? Black did. This was black, right? Who was attacked? Okay. So the first thing we get is the points here, which is 24, and 24 is 48, 60 points. And if that had been over 100, we'd get an angel, but it's not. We're also able to do a muster. I'll think about that in a moment. But this is our dead pile now. This guy goes here. Now I get half the points that are under here. This troll was never actually mustered because mustering comes after battle. Let's see if I can get it in the goddamn bag. Guess not. Alright. So here, all I have are 24, 36, 60 more points, but that's cut in half, so I'm at 90. I also get all these counters. And I'll take the angels. These are now added to my pool of army legions that I can have. These guys are dead. And that's where we are at the end of this phase, except for one thing. I get to muster here. Now, I'm in the plains. You know what? 2 lions in the mountains gets me a Minotaur. So I'm not going to take some stupid-ass centaur. I'm going to take another lion. And I've done quite well because someone attacked me. Attacking like that's always kind of a crapshoot, but the attacker has a certain advantage in throwing his Titan into play with an angel. Usually what it does is, it's likely to knock one person out of the game and give the other person a nice head start. Sometimes what it does, though, is the attacker wins the battle. Usually if the defender wins, sometimes the defender will win too, but usually the attacker wins the battle, or often the attacker wins the battle, and is then so weakened that he has this troubled position from that point on. And if his other stack gets knocked out, he's got almost nothing. them's the breaks. But sometimes I like making that kind of first attack like that. I've seen people look at me in shock and, well, you can see it didn't work out too well. You lost your Titan right away. Yeah, but now I don't have to play this long game. That is definitely a feeling with it. You know, you can get a big bonus off of it. Brown was kind of alone out here. If he won this battle, he could have been kind of weakened and still have some time because gold shifted over this way. Actually, it's because black was shifting this way into gold's territory. So this black stack was kind of alone and unsupported, which made it easier to attack. I'm going to load this up, as I mentioned, and we'll start over with the red player on the next video. And I'll get some of the counters out of the bags, etc. Other videos are going to be spliced together. It's just when I'm doing 90 to 95% of the time that I'm spending here actually on the video, I might as well do it all on, even if it means and yeah, editing screws everything up. Maybe not so much if I do it over on YouTube. I can cut pieces there, but you know what? That's work. Skip forward 5 seconds, right?